the main point of this video is I wanted to address this comment and specifically tie it into JD Vance's comment about cat ladies running the Democratic Party. Thank this user. She left this comment on my techno apartheid / post-racial America video. This commenter was mentioning that, oh, her daughter is one of those women that her and her friends, they make enough money to basically maintain their lifestyle, but not enough to welcome a child into the world. So in 2021, JD Vance was on the Tucker Carlson show and was having an interview, and he made what I will give him that credit, that due, that a sarcastic comment stating that the Democratic Party is run by a bunch of childless cat ladies, and basically how can we put the governance of America in the hands of people that don't have any major stake in it. So he was referring to AOC and obviously Kamala Harris with that statement. Of course, there was a lot of backlash. I will take him at his word that it was sarcastic. It wasn't meant literally, but whatever is real in perception is real in reality. People took him seriously and there was a backlash. But my issue with how the Democratic Party responded to this is that they got onto it for like, oh, it was insensitive and oh, it was, anti-PC and all of that stuff. But the real issue with his comment, or the real issue with the response, was that no one directly addressed what he was getting at with his comment. And that is that as it stands in this country now, life is not sustainable for young families. If you're under the age of, let's say, 40 and you haven't had kids, can you afford a house? Do you even have a house? What is the social scene like to even find a mate? Like, we're living in a time where people are so isolated socially that they have a hard time not even maintaining friendships, but maintaining intimate relationships. A lot of people are uncertain about their job and their future. Like, this has hit especially young men very hard, where a lot of guys are, if they're not pursuing a higher education or they're not working, they're just kind of checked out of life. So there goes your prospects for actually finding a mate. Even if you have a good job yourself, everything is at will. So you can be fired for any reason. The pay is like you're living pillar to post. Even if you get a high paying job, it usually took you some type of education that required taking out student loans. So you may or may not be in debt, in addition to like the high cost and standards of living that people are trying to maintain. So those are all the impediments to even embarking on having a family. But let's say you do find someone, you do get married, and then you want to have kids. Well, this country doesn't have any solidified state mandated paternity or maternity leave. So if you want to stay home and take care of that child for the first year of life, there's no guarantee that you're going to have a job when you come back. Most likely you'll have to quit your job. A lot of people don't even have the option of quitting their job. It's like you drop that baby and then you have to go back to work. So there's no support in terms of once the child is here, what do we all do? So the problem with the Democratic Party in this instance is instead of addressing it and being like, oh, JD Vance, you made this sarcastic comment, but hey, here's our plan for how we plan to support young working families so that their life is easier and they can be there for their children. The education system is very poor. Reading levels are horrible. Behavior in school is out of control. You can't get a house in a nice neighborhood that would even have like a decent school district. The pays as it is now is like it's barely covering people's necessities. The social scene is bad. There's all of these things. And unfortunately, the Democratic Party, I feel at this point, has reduced, support for women or support for, let's just say support for women. They've reduced that to don't call people names and you can get an abortion. And I'm pro-choice. I'm not against that. But in my lifetime, I've met more women that want to have a family and have kids, and I've met that don't want to have those things and would get an abortion to stop it, right? And of course, I know abortion is a pretty touchy subject, so a lot of people are not going to confide that they've had one or they're contemplating one. But I think I speak for a lot of people when I say that many of us just want to have a family. So it's crazy to me that there is no answer from the Democratic Party aside from, oh, well, you can get an abortion. But what is available to people that actually want to keep these children? Like, what is a program or like a plan for how to get things back on track? So in as much as, yeah, that was an insensitive and tone deaf comment, the issue is that the response didn't take things to the logical conclusion, which is, okay, yeah, we have a bunch of cat ladies, but how do we, quote unquote, correct this problem for the people that don't want to be in these circumstances?